Welcome to Red Dead Redemption 2. I've added over 100 mods in order to turn this game into Undead Nightmare 2. This is a story about Arthur Morgan. He's a pelt trapper and hunter by trade, and with the help of some friends, he was finally able to get to Sandy Knee and deliver the pelts he was so desperate to sell. But this man's endeavors did come at a cost. During one of the zombie attacks, Arthur Morgan accidentally shot John Marston in the back of the head. Fortunately and unfortunately, John Marston wasn't dead. He was half dead. He came back as a zombie, and ever since then, Arthur's felt pretty bad. So before Arthur gets back to his pelt trapping ways, he decided to right his wrong. He decided, come hell or high water, he would find a cure for John and get him back to his family safe and sound. These are the adventures that took place in order to cure John Marston. So it was just John and Arthur for now. Mr. Joel Miller had some business to attend to back in Valentine, and Sadie had a cat that needed feeding. Buddy, however, Arthur doesn't talk about Buddy anymore. Let's just say he's resting in a better place. John and Arthur find themselves in the wilderness, not really having any real direction. They were looking for somebody or something to help lead them in the right direction to find this cure for John. This led them to many dangerous encounters, but Arthur Morgan, he was pretty much an expert zombie slayer at this point, and sometimes you have to risk it in order to get the biscuit. So since we're in the summertime now, even more zombies are out prowling about, and this makes the journey hard. There's a lot more things that could kill us. So the duo spent their days roaming the land, practicing their shot, and of course fighting humans. If there was one thing that was getting even worse than the zombies, were the way humans were becoming. Supplies were getting scarce, and every human encountered, you never know. It was a shot in the dark if they'd be friendly or they were trying to kill you. But more often than not, they were trying to kill you. The odds were stacked against Arthur and John, but they always found hope, and hope is what kept them going. Every zombie they killed and every shot they took led them even closer to finding some kind of lead. John and Arthur stumbled upon an abandoned camp, and it had been wiped out. Looks like zombies chased out a few, but a few weren't so lucky as well. Every day it just got more dangerous. We ventured on the path until we found a friendly and exchanged some words. He mentioned a town up ahead that could potentially have some information for us, so Arthur decided to give it a go. Unfortunately, that town had been long gone. The buildings were burned down, and the only things moving were the dead walking. We looked around for a bit just to see if there may have been any survivors, but that was a no-go. Only the dead roam these lands. Further down the road, we found a group of men talking and went to go inquire to see if they knew anything. We changed our mind quick. These guys weren't friendly, and the zombies were coming in from those gunshots. There was no sense on staying out today. The sunset was quickly approaching, so we went to the closest town to ask about some rumors and relax a little bit. There was a well-dressed gentleman we asked some questions to, but he seemed a little bit crazy and was just blabbing about a friend that probably never existed. We led our horse into town, and this town, despite not really having any defenses, was quiet. There didn't seem to be any action here. No gunshots in the distance, and no zombies roaming the streets, which was a good sign. We headed to the saloon, of course, to get some drinks and to clear our head. Arthur promised John he'd find the cure, and that's what he was going to do. So Arthur sat and pondered at the bar for a bit, having a beer to cool down from that hot sun. A little later, a group of dudes came into the bar, causing a ruckus. They slammed the dude's head right on the bar itself. Now Arthur didn't want to start a bloodbath, so we went to find a quieter location at the corner of the saloon. We propped ourselves up and started thinking even deeper. But all Arthur could think of was pelt trapping and hunting, but that didn't help John Marston. He was getting crazier by the day, and he was deteriorating pretty fast. There was no use thinking in the saloon. It was too loud, so Arthur decided to get some fresh air instead. And upon leaving the saloon, there was a man Arthur met, and he had a lead on the information Arthur was looking for. His name was Lenny, and after explaining everything that happened to John, Lenny decided to join. His family was killed by zombies, so he wanted to do anything he could do to help. Lenny was the man. Nighttime had hit though, and there was no hotels in the area, so instead we went right outside of town and set up our own camp for the night. It was going to be another long journey, and nighttime was the worst to travel around, especially with more aggressive zombies. So Arthur, Lenny, and John chilled by that fire and had some deep sleep, because tomorrow was the start of yet another adventure, and who knows where it may lead them.